Hi there. Learn how to code this classic breaker game from scratch, complete with interactive gameplay, smooth animations, leaves, and collision detection. We'll guide you through every step from setting up the project to implementing the game logics such as dynamic text on canvas to coding the ball mechanic and brick breaking action, auto update on scores with end results, much more with JavaScript. Here's a quick preview of what we'll be creating today. First, user can see the container with text says press space to start the game. Once we hit space, our breaker game will allow players to control a paddle with mouse or key events to break the breaks and keep the ball in play, and will auto update the scores on top based on the breaks broken by the ball. And here we have a total 3 leaves. With that, we need to break all the breaks, else we'll get the game over text. As to restart the game with hit the space. Again, we can hit the space, it will reset the game to play. And here, if you break all the bricks, we'll get the congratulation message like this. Again, we can hit the space, again we can play the game as same. Don't miss out this fun and educational project, and I upload unique project videos every week. Please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to subscribe our channel Sarat Chandar K. Your support means a lot. That helps me to create more content for you, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. Now let's dive into the code. Let's open this brick breaker project folder in my favorite code editor, Visual Studio Code. Let me know yours favorite and why in our comment box below. Inside the directory, I have already added index.html, style.css, and script.js. In the index.html, I have already added HTML boilerplate with the help of exclamation mark. Along with that, I have changed the title to Brick Breaker Game by Sharat Chandar K. And below, I have linked other two files, style.css and script.js. Now, inside the body, we need to add the canvas. Canvas is used to draw graphics on the fly. We are scripting. This element is the hero of today's project. Canvas will set the width of 650 and then height of 450. In our previous snake game, we have set this width and height from script.js. Either we can set from there or we can assign it from here also. For there, I have used that width and height in the multi-purpose. If you want, I will add the link in the description. Please do check it out. Now we need to style this. For that, I need to jump to the style.css. I have already added import URL of font family poppins. Along with that, I have added global selector with the help of asterisk to reset the margin to 0px, padding to 0px, box sizing, border box, font family poppins. And then we'll add the styles to the body with the help of element selector name called body. First we'll set the background color of blue, min height to 100 vh, display to flags. This will help us to set the content into the center of the screen with the help of align item center, justify content center. Next thing, we'll add the styles to the canvas with the help of element selector name called canvas. We'll set the background with black color. We'll set the box shadow to this with 14px and 0 and 0 of the position with the color of white. That's all for the HTML and CSS. Are you thinking about using this minimal code to create a game grid, paddle, balls with random colors? Our previous JavaScript game playlist includes games such as memory card game, rock paper scissors, tic tac toe, word guessing game, and many others. All of this project we have added to the HTML element with CSS styles and actions in JavaScript. But here we want to do something more advanced. Our plan is to create graphic games with Canvas using JavaScript for the upcoming weeks because we are close to completing our 52 weeks of 52 projects. During this 52-week period, we have covered many projects from beginner to advanced level. If you are interested in becoming a successful front-end developer, start coding or enhancing your programming skills, we have something for everyone. I have included all the links in the description. If you are interested, please check them out. If you have learned something valuable, please click the like button. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to ensure you don't miss out our weekly unique projects. Feel free to share any questions, suggestions or upcoming projects with me in the comment box below. Now let us see our HTML file in action. For that, in Visual Studio Code, we have a extension called Go Live. Once we click, the tool will automatically run our project into the default browser. Now here we can see the background color with canvas and box shadow effect. Now we need to add the paddle and ball with bricks and we need to break that. For that I need to jump to the script.js. First we'll add the event listener of DOM content loader. For that we need to use the document. Document is an owner of your web page. We'll add the add event listener to add the DOM content loader. With that I will add the function. Inside that we need to add all the operations. First we'll declare the canvas with the help of const because we are not going to reinitiate or assigning to this canvas, so only I am using this const with canvas equal to document dot query selector. This query selector will pick the element selector of canvas. Now we'll check the what this canvas contain. For that I will add the console.log of canvas. If I save, if I go to the browser, I will go and insert this. Here we can see the canvas with the attribute of width and height what we have initialized in the index.html. That is how the DOM tree will work. With the help of this, we need to create the 2D animation with other stuffs. For that again, I will jump to this DOM content loader. Inside this, I will add one more const with the value of ctx equal to canvas dot get context with 2D. The get context method returns an object with tools for drawing. It may be a properties or methods. With the help of this, we need to create the text first. I will add the ctx dot font equal to, will set the 25px and font family of Poppins. We'll add the fill color to this with the help of ctx fill style. For the filling the color, we need to use the fill style property equal to, will set the blue color same as our background. So these are all the properties we'll get from this get context, and then we'll set the ctx dot text line equal to center, and again we need to set the text baseline also into the middle. Now we'll add the text with the help of fill text. This will help us to add our text. Inside that we have three properties. One is text, what are the text we are going to display, and another one is x, another one is y, and we need to set the main width. What is this x and y? The HTML canvas is a two-dimensional grid. We need to use x and y of the properties to assign or initialize the content. For that, here I will add the text as press space to start the game. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the text. As I said, we need to set the dimensional of the x and y axis. For that, I will set for 300 and 200. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the text is placed into the canvas, but it is not in center. For that, I can realign with 325 and 225 as y. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the text placed into the center of the screen. The next thing, we can create the paddle from here. For that I need to create one more function function of function keyword. We'll set the function name as draw paddle. Inside that we can draw the paddle with ctx dot begin path. This will create the path of this paddle, and ctx dot react. For this react we need to set the paddle. So before that we need to set the paddle width and height, and we need to find the position of that paddle, right? For that again I will create one more const value of const name of paddle height equal to 10. We'll set one more const of paddle width equal to 75. As I said, we need to find the paddle x position. For that I can create one more declaration of let of paddle x, because this should be changeable. If we set to const, we can't able to change that. If it is a let, we can change. That is how the property has designed from the JavaScript. We need to set the paddle equal to 0 for now, and I can use this paddle x from here, and we'll set the canvas dot height minus paddle height. This is what the y-axis, and we'll set the paddle height, and we'll set the paddle width. The next thing, that is height. So we have already created the paddle height, so I will use this. Next thing, we need to assign the color to this with fill style equal to, we are going to use the same color. So instead of using the same property many place, so I can use this as an global declaration of const color equal to the same color value. So I can use this color value to this entire project. So only I have used this as an global declaration, and then next thing, we need to fill that color with the help of fill function, and we need to close the path as we have opened on the top. So now we need to call this draw paddle, because this is a bunch of code in a container. We need to call this. For that I can use this draw paddle, and I can use the function open and close bracket. This will help us to initialize this. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the paddle is set to the position of 0. So for the paddle x, we need to set to center of the container, right? So how we can do that? So that we need to calculate the center point with the help of canvas dot width minus paddle width divided by 2. What we are doing here, we have the width of 650, and then we are minusing with paddle width that contains 75. Now we'll get the total 575. We'll divide it by 2. Now we'll get the 287.5 this paddle x. Then it will set to the 235 as same as this fill text. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the paddle text is placed into the center of the container with the x and y. That is how we calculate the paddle x. The next thing, we can create the ball with the help of function keyword with value of draw ball. Inside the draw ball also we need to add the ctx dot begin path, and we'll set the ctx dot arc. So for the text we have used the fill text. For the paddle we used the react. It will help us to create the react. For the circle of the ball we need to use the arch. So with the help of this arch we can pause the x, y, and then radius, and we need to pause the start angle and end angle. It will be a counterclockwise. If we set this boolean true or false, based on this it will create a counterclock or non-clocking wise. So for that we'll create the position of x and y. We need to create the arc with the help of these properties. So for that properties we need to declare some global declaration with the help of const ball radius equal to 10, and we need to find the x and y. So we'll use the let x equal to width dot x equal to canvas dot width divided by 2, and we'll set the let y equal to canvas dot height. This is a two-dimensional, so we'll use the x and y. For the height I need to minus with 30. So with the help of this we can create this arch. I will set the x position and then y position of the dimensional, and then radius of ball we have created as 10. For the next thing, the start angle is started from 0. Next thing, we'll set the end angle with the help of math.py asterisk 2. What this contains, I will copy this and I will go to the browser. Here in the console, we'll check the math.py. Math.py is 3.14. So we are divided into two. With the help of this, it will create a ball from the end angle. We'll set the ctx dot fill style. Already we have created the global declaration of color. We need to add the fill function for this to fill that color, and we'll set the ctx dot close path for this ball also. The same thing I need to call the draw ball function also. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the ball width paddle. If I change the radius to 20, we'll get the size of ball to be bigger. For now that n is enough. I will revert and I can save this. Now this two function, we can call this as in some common function. That function name is function with the keyword and then draw. So inside the draw we can call all this function. Now we can't see that because we have created this function, we have not yet initialized. So I will copy this function and I will initialize from the end of the list we have created, and we can see this. The next thing, we can add the scores and leaves from here. For this again I will create two more function for draw score, another function as draw leaves. For the draw score I can create ctx dot font. We'll set the 16px font family as Poppins. I will copy this. The same thing for the draw leaves also, and then we'll set the ctx dot fill style equal to the color of top. I will copy this and I will use it for the draw leaves also, and we'll set the ctx dot fill text of function. We'll pause the score from here. For the same thing we can call it from here. Instead of score we can set to leaves. For the scores and leave, that are all the dynamic values. So I can create some global declaration for this two. On the top, for the first time, let score equal to 0, and then leaves total we have 3 leaves. I will save, I will jump here and I need to concatenate here with the help of plus score, and then same for this plus leaves. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can't see the text because here we have set the position for this. The same thing we need to set the position for this too, as well as we have not yet initialized. So I will initialize inside the draw function of the both function. If I save, if I go to the browser, still it not yet visible because of that dimension. For the scores we can set to the left corner. For the leaves we can set to the right corner. For that we can set the 45 of the x and then y of 20. But here we have know the starting point. This should set to the left hand side. For the right hand side we need to calculate the width of the canvas. We need to minus from that. So I will use the canvas dot width minus 45 from the ending point. This is starting from the left hand side, from the start point to the 45. This should display from the end of the canvas from the minus 45, and then we'll set the same y of 20 for the top and bottom. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the scores and leaves both an uniform size for the right and left side. The next thing, we need to add the controls to the paddle. It may be from the mouse or from the arrow mark. So for that we need to create the event listener of mouse as well as the key down. For that I need to jump to the script.js. Here we'll add the event listener for this with the help of document dot add event listener. We'll set the key down command, the function of key down handler. We need to create this function, and for the second one as add event listener of key up, because we are pressing right and left keys with the help of key handler of with the help of key up handler. Then last declaration of document dot add event listener of mouse move, because we need to control with the mouse or key events. For this we can create mouse move handler. These are all the functions we need to create the function. For that, with the help of function keyword and then function name of key down handler, the same thing I will copy and paste it for below, and I will change the function name from here. Along with that, I need to create two more declaration. Let right pressed equal to false or left pressed equal to false. With the help of this we can find the key up events from the right and arrow left. First, we'll build the key down handler function. Inside that, we can pass the function from E and we'll get the event from here. So we'll check what this E contain console.log of E. I will add all the E functions to all the three functions. We can check from here. If I save, if I go to the browser, here in the console, if we scroll to the mouse, we can find the screen X, screen Y, and then client X and client Y. I will clear. Now I will press the key event. Now we can see arrow right. Now we can see arrow left and arrow up and arrow down. These are all the key events. These are all the mouse event. With the help of this, we can make that paddle to move. First, we'll move to the right and left. We'll check the key code with e dot key triple equal to right or e dot key triple equal to hero right. If this is pressed from the keyboard, then we can set the right pressed equal to true, and then I will copy this if condition and I will paste it below, and I will convert this as else if. Instead of right, we'll set to left, and then instead of arrow right, we'll set to arrow left. And for this declaration also to be changed to left press. The same thing I will copy and paste it to the key up handler also. For the mouse move handler, that is something different. We have already seen the client X. If I scroll, we can get the client X. With the help of this client X, we can achieve that. I will create one const declaration of relative X equal to e dot that client X minus canvas dot offset left. This will help us to find the canvas offset. So because if we find this, and the paddle should not go outside of the canvas, so we'll check this relative X greater than 0 and relative X less than canvas dot width. If this is present, then we'll set the paddle X equal to relative X minus paddle width divided by 2. Here we have set the paddle X. The next thing we need to use of draw that. If I go to the browser, if I move the mouse, the paddle X is not moving because we need to request the animation for this draw. Inside the draw, with the help of request animation frame, this will create an animation loop of the draw function. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I use that mouse, here we can see the score and leaves and then balls, everything is drawing again and again while moving the mouse. We need to clear every time and we need to move that. For that, on top of the draw, we need to clear the canvas on every time with the help of ctx dot clear react of that 0 comma 0. This should clear for the entire position of x and y and for the entire width and height of canvas. So I will use the canvas dot width and height. If I save, if I go to the browser, now if I taken the mouse from here, if I scroll, we can see the paddle is moving right and left. How simple is this, right? If you remove this request animation frame, if I go to the browser, it will not going to animate. For the request animation, it will create a loop of animation. So again, I will remove this. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see this. If I press the keyboard event, it is not moving. We need to fix that too. For that, about to this request animation, so we have used this right pressed. So I can cut this function. I can use after this initialization for avoiding some errors. So if it is right pressed and then paddle x less than canva dot width minus paddle dot width. So if this is case, this paddle is 75, right? So we no need to taken from this canvas. For the mouse, the center point is of the paddle is 35. So it will go till 35 from here and 35 from here because of that mouse point. But if it is a keyboard view, we don't have that mouse pointer. So it will go and stop from here and it will go and stop from here. For that only I have added this if condition of paddle x less than this width of y, and then we'll set the paddle x plus equal to 7. Else if we need to check for the left pressed also and paddle x greater than 0. Then only we'll set the paddle x minus equal to 7. If I save, if I go to the browser, here. Now if I press right, again if we click left, the paddle is stuck here and it is moving to the right hand side all the time. So you can see the blur effect on this. Why? Because in the add event listener of the key up and key down, we have set both as true. So instead of that, for the key up, we can set to false for the both. If I save, if I go to the browser again, if I go with the mouse, it will smoothly going to the right and left. If I go with the arrow mark, that is also going very smoothly for both the sides. Very simple, right? So if you are a mouse person, you can go with the mouse. If you are a keyboard person, you can go with keyboard. So only I have created two event listener to understand this more clearly. Now we need to create the bricks here, right? For that we need to create some global declaration with const brick row count equal to 5, and next thing brick column count equal to 7, and we'll set the brick width equal to 75, brick height equal to 20, brick padding equal to 10, brick offset top equal to 30, brick offset left also 30. With the help of this declaration, we can create the 5 row and 7 columns of the bricks. So for that, we'll create one more let declaration of bricks equal to empty array. We'll create the function of draw bricks. Inside the draw bricks, we need to create the bricks with the help of for each let column equal to, so I will use for C equal to 0, C less than brick column count C plus plus. So the same thing for the row also, because we need to create the column and row. So I will use let or equal to 0 and or less than brick row count or plus plus. So with the help of this column and row, we need to create the bricks. With the help of this array, we'll check if bricks of column and row dot status triple equal to 1. With the help of this status, we can set the bricks if it is broken or not. So if this is triple equal to 1, then we'll create const of brick x equal to column asterisk of brick width plus brick padding plus of brick offset left, because this is a column. Same thing, I will copy and I will paste it below. Instead of x, I will set to y, and I can calculate with a row the same brick height and brick width with the help of or into. Instead of width, we need to set to brick height, because this is a row, the padding should be the same. For this, instead of left, we need to set to top. If we get this both, then we'll set the bricks array of column array of row dot x equal to brick x. For the same thing, we'll use for y. For this also y. If I save, I will assign the console.log. After this, we'll check the bricks of that array. I can call this brick breaker. Here inside the draw, if I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see brick array of C and or the status is empty. So for that, we need to create some array and initialize to that brick. For that, after this brick, we can create one for each same as this. So I can use this for each of C, and I can use the for each of this or of row. So inside this, we'll set the bricks array of C equal to empty. The first time of the first one is empty. For the column, so I will use this as first row of the first line, and then same thing for break of C, and then or equal to, will set the x equal to 0 of the dimensional y of 0. Instead of equal to, will set this colon, and then we'll set the status of 1, because here we are checking for 1. If I save, if I go to the browser, now the error is gone. Now we get the array of values like this. Whenever we got this array, with the help of this array, it was created 5 rows and 7 columns. With the help of this, we need to create the bricks here. Now, if this is present, we'll create the ctx dot begin path of that function, and we'll create the ctx dot react. We'll set the brick x, what we have already calculated for the x, and then same thing for brick y of that another position, and we'll set the brick width and brick height. Then we'll set the ctx dot fill style equal to the color of same, and we need to fill the color with fill, and then we need to close the path. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the 5 rows and 7 columns. How simple is this, right? Now we need to color each bricks differently. For that, we'll create one more function of brick color. We'll pass the parameter of x, and then we'll set the simple if condition x triple equal to 0, then ctx dot fill style equal to hash 660033, and if x triple equal to 1, I will use this ctx dot fill style. Instead of this, we'll set to green. So I will copy this and I will paste it for x triple equal to 2. We'll set to pink, and we'll set the x triple equal to 3 as orange, and then end of this one of x triple equal to 4, we'll set the blue color. I have used this text as well as the color code here. This will applicable. It may be a color code or text or HSL color or whatever. So for the example, I have used all, so you can understand all the colors it will applicable to fill this graphics. Instead of this, we can use the brick color and we'll pass the x instead of or. This is what the or is. So we have the row of 5. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the violet, green and pink, and then blue color of the background. How simple is this, right? Now for the first time we can't able to see the text, so we need to fix that. Whenever we launch the game, the first time we need to show the text. Once we hit paste, then only this should show. For that, we need to create if condition for this of that event listener. I will jump to that key down handler. Inside that, as I said, we'll create e dot key double equal to one empty space. This will mention as space e dot code double equal to space or e dot key code double equal to 32. All the three it will mention that we are pressing the space. We need to create two more global declaration for this. One is game start equal to true. Second one as continue animating equal to true. For this game start, whenever we start this game with the help of press, while playing the game, again we can't able to hit the space and we can't restart. So only I am using this as true. So I will make this entire three condition as one and will set the end to check if this is true or false. If this is true or false, then only we need to start the game. If you are starting the game, the first time the score will be 0. Again will the leaves equal to 3. Then will draw from here. I will remove the draw calling method from end of the list. I will cut. If I save, if I go to the browser, now for the first time we'll see the text, press space to start the game. If you hit space, we'll get the brakes and pedal everything. Again we'll hit space, it will not going to work. We need to set the is game starts equal to false, and then for the continue animating equal to true. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit space, we can see the pedal based on the mouse. Instead of from the mouse, we can set the x equal to canvas dot width divided by 2. All the time it will set to the center, y equal to canvas dot height minus 30. Now if we hit space, we'll start the game. We can move the pedals. The next thing we need to move this ball and it will go on hit this bricks, right? For the moving this ball, we need to add two more declaration of let dx equal to 2 and dy equal to minus 2. With the help of this, we can move around the ball. So now inside the draw, we can move around this. We'll check the if if condition of x plus dx greater than canvas dot width minus ball radius or x plus dx less than ball radius. Then we'll set the dx equal to minus dx. For that we'll check if y plus dy less than ball radius. Then again we'll set the dy equal to minus dy. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit the space, it will going here and it will beaten here and again it will beaten on the top. Again it is coming. Again if it is paddle, it is not hitting and again it is not redirecting to the top. For that we'll check else if y plus dy greater than canvas dot height minus ball radius. If this present inside that will create one more if x greater than we'll set the paddle x and x less than paddle x plus paddle width. If the both ball and paddle meets in the same place, we need to change the direction of the ball. So for that, we'll set the dy equal to minus dy. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit the space, now it is going to the top and it is sitting on the top. Again, it is coming to the paddle and it is sitting on the paddle and it is moving around all the corners into the canvas. Now, if we not hit this into the paddle, what will happen? It is going, then we need to set the leaves of minus and again we need to restart the ball, right? For that, we'll set simply else here and we'll set the leaves of the global declaration will set to minus minus. If I save, if I start, it will start the game. It will going around the corners and I'm hitting on the paddles for the first time. Again, it is going to the top and again it is coming to the bottom. I'm not going to hit that. Now we can see the ball is ended with that, but we can see the leaves is running minus minus. We need to fix that. If not of leaves, once it's went to the minus, we'll set the ctx dot react of 0 comma 0 dot canvas dot width minus canvas dot height. Else will set x equal to canvas dot width divided by 2 y equal to canvas dot height minus 30 and we'll place the dx again equal to 2 dy equal to minus 2 and again we'll set the paddle x equal to canvas dot width minus paddle width divided by 2. If it is not and we are resetting the canvas to the ball to the shift to the same place, again need to start from the paddle place. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit on space, now it is going around the corners. It was coming to the paddle, it will hit the paddle and it will going to the top. If I'm not hitting that ball, now we can see instead of 3 it will set to 2. If I go here, if I 8, now it is going around. If I'm not hitting here, it went to the one of this leaf. Again the ball is starting from the point and it is getting the paddle also in the starting point. Now we need to check the collision reduction when you hit the balls to the brakes. For that we need to create one more function of collision deduction. With this function we need to check the rows and column. I will go on the top. I will use the for each of this two. I will copy it from here. Anyway we are going to use the same. Inside the for each we'll add one more const of b of that block equal to bricks of c and then row. Now we'll check the console.log of this b and we'll call the collision detection function inside the draw function. If I save, if I go to the browser, now the console is empty. If I hit on space, it was going to this ball to the bricks and we are getting the x and y axis with status 1. Whenever it is hitting to this bricks and we need to change the status to 0 and it will not going to add because of that condition what we have already added on the top. So here first we'll check if b dot status triple equal to 1, then we'll check if x greater than b dot x and x less than b dot x plus brick width and y greater than b dot y and y less than b dot y plus brick height. What this if condition contains: if the ball x-axis and y-axis of the bricks and y, if it is matches, then we'll set the b dot status equal to 0. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I turn space, now it is going on eating here all the places and it was coming to the down. If it is going on it here and it will return from here, right? For that, if this is b equal to 0, then we'll divert the dy equal to minus dy. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I eat, now it is coming backward of this as we expected, and if I eat, it will going to this. As well as whenever eating this, we need to update the scores also. For that, I will set the scores plus plus after global declaration. Again, if I came here, if I hit the space, it was started the game. If it is going downstairs, again it is starting from the starting point. Again it was going here, the leaves is 1, it was going and it was breaking all the bricks and the scores also automatically updated. Here we can see this. Now here we have only 1 lives. This also gone. Now we are getting -1. But still the ball is breaking the bricks. We need to restrict that. And once we hit every bricks, what is happening? To change the direction of the ball, now it will hit. See, now all the bricks also gone. But the user is still playing. We need to show the message, as well as if the user went to the negative numbers of leaves, we need to show the game over. For that, first here we'll check if score double equal to brick row count into brick column count. Here we have total 35 bricks because we have 5 into 7, we have total 35 bricks. So if the scores matches to 35, then we'll display the congratulations message to the user. Before that, we'll reset the Canva with the help of 0 and 0, Canva dot width and then Canva dot height. Then we'll add the text from here. So I will copy the text on above what we are initially doing. I will copy this and insert this. I will paste. Instead of 25, I will change to 20. Other things is same. Here we can change the text to congratulations, you have won. Press space to restart the game, and then position also same thing, and we'll reset the space button is game start equal to true, because whenever we hit the space we are setting to the false, and we'll set the continue animation also set to false, because we are not going to do the animations for that. Whenever the leaves went to minus, we need to show the game over whenever the user running out of the leaves. So I will copy this on the top. If this is negative value, then we'll clear and we'll set the game over text to this with the font size of 25. Instead of congratulations, we'll say game over. Press space to start the game. With the position also same is game, and continue animation also same. If I save, if I go to the browser, here in the browser, if I hit the space, now we are getting the ball is running and hitting the bricks. I'm trying to leave this with the 3 times. We'll check what will happen. It is showing the game over text or not. Again it is hitting. Now it will go to the top and it was hitting all the bricks. Right now we have the lives is 1, the score is 29. If I'm not going to touch this, see, still the animation is hitting. Anyway, we are getting the text. You can see that. I hope for that we need to restrict that. For the animation on the loop, we are using the request animation. For that request animation will run whenever the continue animation is in true. So only here we have set this as false whenever we complete the game or we fail the game. So we have set to the false. I will use this if continue animation. Whenever this is true, then only this request animation loop will be fired. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit the space, now the brick is eating. Now the leaves also reduce and it is going down the track and it was eating all the bricks, and and we are getting the scores auto updated. And now I need to go for game over. Now it is coming down. I'm not going to touch the ball. Now we can see the game over. Press space to start the game. Now we are getting that text, but instead of text, it is not clearing this canvas. Why? Because here we have set to react. Instead of this, we need to set to clear react for the game over also. Clear react. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit on space, again it is going to hit all the break. I'm trying to go with the game over and it will run in the animation loop. We'll get the scores also updated, and if we hit space in between, it will not do anything because we have set the is game start equal to false. Now I'm going to lose the game. Now if you are not hitting the ball, we'll get the game over. Press space to restart the game, and we can see the score, leaves, and then blocks and paddle or everything. Again I'm going to hit the space. Now still it is starting from the where we left. We need to restart the bricks also. For that, here we have created the bricks on globally. So instead of that, I will remove it from here and I will assign this whenever we are hitting the space, and then we'll set the bricks of array equal to empty again, and then we'll loop it and we'll add the bricks property to this. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit on space, now the brick is automatically starting the ball and it was set to leaves of 1. Now it will going on the loop and it will eat all the bricks and it will come back for the leaves. If you want to see the game over, I'm not going to touch the ball with the paddle. Now we'll get the text of game over. Press space to start the game. Now again I will hit the space. It will reset all the bricks and we'll get the fresh game from the scratch. I will change to rows and columns from here. So I'll jump to the script.js. Instead of 5 row, I will set to 1 row. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit space, we'll get only 1 row. I will try to change the column also 1. If I save, if I hit space, we'll get only 1 breaks. That is how the dynamic thing works. So I will directly hit that 1 break and we'll get that congratulations message. Now it will hit that break. We'll get the congratulations, you won. Press space to restart the game. If I hit the space, it will automatically restart all the values and it will start from the scratch. Again, I will change these things to 7 and 5. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I hit on space, we'll get from the scratch. So here with that help of that global declaration, you can assign that easy, medium and odd level as we have already created in our previous playlist. If you want, please check them out too, and we can play the game as much as we can. A complete brick breaker game with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Feel free to customize and expand on this basic setup and add more features or improve the design. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more tutorials. If you are interested in JavaScript project like this, I have created and added a playlist link in the description. Please do check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep coding and keep learning. See you in the next video. Happy coding. Bye for now. Have a nice day.